For this last lesson of the chapter, we're going to look at a new way to query data in C#, and it's called LINQ, spelled out and what it means. It stands for Language Integrated Query. What Microsoft has done with LINQ is provide a standard way using an SQL-like language to query in-memory objects like arrays and lists, as well as other types of collections, databases, and XML files. So 3 different types of data collections, all using the same basic query language, LINQ. And needless to say, it's a very wide and complex topic. And what I want to do for you in this lesson is just give you an overview by looking at a couple of examples of working with LINQ for objects. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is create a random number generator to generate a set of random numbers for our list. Then we're going to create our list. Our list will be a list of grades that we're going to assign in just a minute. We'll just do 10 grades primarily so I can keep the collection small so we can look at the data fairly easily. So we're going to say grades.add rand next. And we'll enter grades in the range of 60 to 100. Then we want to look at each grade, so we'll say for each int grade in grades, console.write grade plus a space. And then let's put a new line at the end of that. Actually, let's put 2. And let's run this program real quick. So there's our grades. So let's look at one example of query using LINQ. For this first one, we're going to order the grades from high to low, so in descending order. So to do that, let's first write a little heading, grades from high to low. Then let's begin the query. We start off with the keyword var, then we enter the name of what we'll call the result set, or the collection that's going to come out of this query. We're going to call it ordered grades, and it's a var type. And then we say from grade in grades. Because what we're doing is we're going to, just like in a for each loop, take an individual value out of grades and we have to store it in a variable, so we pick grade for that variable. Then we want to order each grade as we get it in descending order, and then we finish it off with the select grade. That kind of finishes off the query. Now we're ready to write a loop to look at those, so we're going to write for each var grade in grades. Looks very similar to what we've already done with for each loops, except it's not grades, it's ordered grades. Console write line grade. And then we're finished. So let's run the program. There's our original list, and then there's our list written out in descending order from high to low. This is much easier than trying to write the code ourselves in standard C#. Plus, for people who are familiar with database queries using SQL, this is a language that they can pick up very easily. So there are some very good advantages to using LINQ. Now let's look at one more example. This time let's restrict the set to only high grades, and we'll say grades higher than 79. So we'll start out, our collection will be called high grades. Our from is from grade in grades, just like before. And here we have a where clause that says where grade is greater than 79. And then we're going to do this one in ascending order, just to show the difference, and then select grade to wrap up the query. Now we'll write a loop where we say var grade in high grades this time, and then write out the grade, 1 per line. And then let's go back right here and add a heading. \n grades greater than 79. There we got 4. But here we can see all of the grades, 92 through 65, and then we see that we had 85, 87, 87, 92, and 92. So those are 2 somewhat simple examples of using LINQ, but I think they give you the flavor for what you can do. LINQ is what they call a declarative language, like SQL, whereas you're not telling the computer how to do something, you're telling it what you want, and then you let the underlying program figure out the how. That's what's made SQL such a popular language for database queries. and I suspect over time LINQ will have the same popularity because it provides you with a much more flexible means of querying data out of not only databases but XML files and in-memory objects. So it really opens up the query world for much more powerful programs. And with that, we're actually finished with this course in C#. In this chapter, I'm not providing you with any exercises because what I want you to do is go out and find your own exercises to write. Find examples from your work or from school or something where you can work on a program that has some meaning to you. Rather than just watch me work exercises, you'll learn a lot more about programming if you apply it to your day-to-day life. And in fact, that's probably the only way you're going to become a really good programmer, is to go out and look for your own problems that need to be solved and write programs to solve them. So I hope you've enjoyed the course. I've enjoyed sharing with you my knowledge of C#, and I hope to see you again in some other course that I provide.